Welcome to the special board meeting. The meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business. It is not to be considered a public meeting. There is a time for public participation during the meeting if you wish. So, here we go. Notification of the posting. Public notice has been given of this meeting at our four school buildings, the district website, and the newspaper publication. Mary, if you would make note for the record that 4 board members are present and Dan Jensen is excused. First item of action, take action to accept resignation of staff.
There's 2 points here that I'd like the board to consider. One is Betsy Daniels, the librarian, and then I'd also like you to give pre-approval to release Julie Milligan from her contract as well. She hasn't submitted a letter yet, but she says it will be coming as soon as she gets the written contract from the school district that's offered her position.
Also move. Second.
Before we vote on this, I was impressed with this letter. She says, Betsy says, I have nothing but the highest regards for my colleagues and the leadership of the Waterford School District. Over the past 2 years, the opportunities for professional development, along with the professionalism and expertise of my co-teachers and principals, have allowed me to grow professionally and have made me a better educator. The passion and commitment of the professionals in Waterford is amazing. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to work in such an exemplary organization. Isn't that nice?
It was very nice.
Can we frame that and post it in the schools, 1 week in this school, 1 week, that's nice.
I should note that it's because she had the opportunity to get a position much closer to home.
Right.
In the district of her children, so I wish her well.
All those in favor of accepting these resignations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, Marion. Take action to approve any bids for maintenance projects.
I'd ask Ken Quant if there are any maintenance bids that he's ready to approach the board for approval on, or if he's still gathering information.
Okay. Chris had approached me about some door work at Evergreen, replacing doors and some framework that is rotted or rusted out already. Those bids are as follows. A door, which is the very front entry door to Evergreen, and the 2 hall doors that lead from the hallway to the courtyard behind the cafeteria. Now, it's not the 2 doors leading out of the cafeteria, it's the doors on the hallway leading into that courtyard. That is to replace thresholds and weather stripping on those. There's 6 doors involved in that for a total of $1,051. That's the one threshold that doesn't meet the bottom of the door on those hallway doors leading into the courtyard. We still have that 3/8 of an inch gap underneath it. They think they can solve that by putting in a new threshold, because that one is crushed, and then putting in what they call a drop-down weather stripping, where when you open the door it raises to allow for clearance, but when it closes it comes down to meet the threshold.
What company was it that bid that?
Pardon me?
What company was it that bid that?
That's LaForce.
LaForce, okay.
Second quote was for the doors leading from the cafeteria to the courtyard. That would be to replace just the doors, as we have been doing throughout the school with the special light fiberglass doors, getting rid of the metal doors that are rusted out and going to the half glass rather than the full glass in those two doors, for a total of $47.91. Then also going back to the doors from the hallway to the courtyard, replacing the doors themselves with that fiberglass door, or fiberglass type door with the half glass, getting rid of the full glass, and the rusted out doors on that. And on that opening was $36.18.
Maybe the half glass on too?
Yes. And if we move down that west hallway to the first exit, which is between rooms 25 and 26, call it the west exit, there just replacing the doors with the, again, with the special like fiberglass doors with the half glass. Those are, we're replacing the worst doors as we go along, coming up to the least worst, I guess if you want to say it. That's at 7213. The reason that is there's 3 doors there versus the 2 doors in the other opening, or the other openings.
And your recommendation is?
I think we should do it. We had looked at some of the other door frames, but like I said, we've picked out the worst ones, and that's how we're going around the building to pick it out. We're in a situation where those metal doors are pretty well rotted out on the bottom. We can't keep a sweep on them anymore because they're so rotted out, just due to the weather, 20, 22, 23 years old.
I was gonna say they're about 23 years old.
It's all the original door, I mean, other than the ones we've replaced so far, it's still all the original doors on that building.
Do you feel a need for additional bids?
You know, of all the times we've done this work, LaForce has always come in with the best bid and the best work. I mean, they do all the work up at the high school. They've even looked at other places along with us, and they seem to be the best for this type of retrofit doors or retrofit work.
Can you add up the total for me? I got 48, 36, 42.
Well, 1,051 was the first one, 4791 was the second one, 3616 was the third, and 7215 was the last one.
About 16 and a half, roughly. Do we have a motion?
Also moved, now this will come out of the money that we got set aside already, or does this come out of the
Does
general?
come out of the general.
Oh, maintenance, okay.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Do we have any further discussion? Question?
At this time, you'd recommend doing all the doors?
Pardon me?
You'd recommend doing all of
Yes.
the doors?
And other years, this was the company that was always the lowest in bids, we used to get 3 bids all the time.
Right.
And they've worked with our district for quite a few years, so.
Yep. They've done all the retrofit kind of work across all the buildings.
Any further comments or questions?
I just, when we typically do 3 bids, is there, I mean, besides that, we've worked with this company before tonight.
Usually we do, yeah, and they've been coming the lowest every time that we've gone out before, so.
Is it worth double checking at this time?
I guess I'm comfortable with this vendor, just because of the amount of work that they've done with us over the last couple of years. And they have been very, very competitive. So,
And do good work too, the doors have fit real well that they've retrofitted in there, so.
I think too, with bigger dollar amounts, we always insist on 3 bids.
Usually we do on the doors too.
I hate to call this a small dollar amount, 16.5.
Right.
In the scheme of things, it's not that big.
When it's $1,000, and then $4,000, and keep adding up, $16,000 is pretty substantial.
Mm-hmm.
That might help with our energy.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially that one door coming in up behind the
Right.
cafeteria there, it goes into
Yeah.
the hall.
Right.
You ready to vote? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Unanimous, ma'am. Open enrollment exception.
In more.
I've got a couple more.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Going back to something the principals at Woodfield and Trailside had talked about, they had requested on the end of the green wing, which is the one straight down the hallway going to the north, and it's the same scenario with both buildings. They're, in the mornings, when they line their kids up to come in, excuse me, they have to line them up on the bus loop to come in that end sidewalk. They have no access to the building directly from the playground. Directly along the back of the building is nothing but stone.
Right.
Okay, so they've requested a sidewalk, a paved walk be put in between the concrete stoop of that door and the playground. And it's not so much this time of the year that it's a problem, but in the wintertime when they have to do that, with the snow out there and one thing or another, we can't plow that area because it's stone and it's dipped down and it's just almost implowable.
What would you do, put blacktop in?
Put blacktop there, right. So I got a quote on blacktop for each of the buildings, and like I said, because the area is exactly the same, was $1,328 each.
1,000, what was it?
$1,328.
What's the span of the blacktop? Are we talking 20 feet or?
It's, the paved area would be 6 feet wide by 60 feet long.
6 by 6?
It's on the greenway?
The end of the green wing, correct. And would be the width of the concrete stoop to the playground.
Which is about the width of your plow too?
Pardon me?
Which is also about the width of your plow?
Well, it's a little bit wider than the small tractor, which would what we plow it with, because that's what we do the sidewalks and the entryways with.
Also move.
Discussion, further discussion, questions? Vote.
And that was from asphalt contractors.
Okay, out of Union Grove?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
the ones that they've been doing all, most of the work around here.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, Mayor.
Chris, do you want to hold off with that other one until we get to that?
Right.